Lovely, there we go. Right, lock the cat out. He's been fed. Morning, morning, morning. Bit of a miserable morning out there, isn't it? It's hosing down here, so hopefully it's not too wet with you. It's all due to improve later on though, so fingers crossed. Anyway, as I was saying, we're going to be focusing on the back today. And I was thinking about this. I was in a yoga class the other day, not as a teacher, but as a student. And this lady was talking to the teacher, and she said, "Oh, I've been doing lots of decorating, and I've been sort of up ladders and bending over. Oh, and I can really feel that my back is just about to go. So I thought I'd come to yoga." I could see the poor teacher's face just freeze in this, oh my God. But luckily it didn't go in the yoga class. And actually at the end, the lady said, "Oh, I can really feel I've stretched it." But quite often it is when we're doing those unusual things. We might be gardening in the summer or riding our bikes in the summer. In winter, we tend to round into the cold, brace ourselves. So our back, our upper back in particular, can become very overstretched, and our shoulders can become very tight. So this is just one to really work into the whole back body. That's not to say we're not going to neglect other parts, but particular focus on the back. Nothing hectic, no big back bends. So don't worry if you do struggle with any back pain. Just listen to your body, only go as far as feels comfortable. But our back is this wonderful feat of architecture within the body. We can move sideways. It's got that lovely lateral flexion. It can twist. It can go forwards. It can go slightly back when we arch the back. When we're doing our cat and our cows, we're arching the back. And that's really as big a back bend as we're going to venture into today, because not all backs will like that. And indeed, not all necks and heads will like that feeling. So we're going to start lying down today. So come to lie yourself down on your mat, and just to start with, stretch out both arms, stretch out both legs, and have a little wiggle into your body there. It's called pandiculation. And it's that kind of intuitive movement. If you've got animals, cats or dogs, you'll see them do this in the morning. They'll maybe stretch their paws out in front of them and wiggle their bottoms up in the air behind them. They just have a good old move just to kind of feel their way into their bodies when they've been curled up in their baskets or lying in a chair. So when you've had a good old wiggle there, just pause in that forward fold and just note it in that full body stretch, sorry. And just see how your back responds to lying flat on the floor. And as you lower your arms down by the side of you, palms flat, deciding whether you want to keep the legs stretched out, or, as my back doesn't really like being completely flat, I'm going to bend my knees, walk my feet back in towards you, and then just bend your knees and rest them together. So that's a little bit more comfortable if you struggle with any low back issues. Taking a moment just to arrange yourself so you can feel the whole of the back body feels nice and comfortable and supported beneath you. The arms just resting down by the side of you as you close down the eyes just for a moment. Just bring your awareness to the back of the body. Starting with the back of the head, just notice where you can feel all of those points of contact that you have with your back and the floor beneath you. And just noticing not just those areas where you can feel the weight of the body resting on the floor, but noticing where your spine has got those natural curves and undulations where there's space. Space between your back and the floor. On your next inhale, take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, almost imagine those points of contact that you can feel beneath you getting a little heavier. Releasing and surrendering the back body into the support of the floor beneath you. As you release your back body, so we can feel maybe a corresponding opening through the front body. Chest can begin to release as the back of the shoulders broaden. As you relax into the back of the pelvis so the hips can begin to open and relax. there's a feeling of ease. Taking a couple of breaths there to arrive at our practice, letting go of anything that might have happened thus far this week. Maybe you've had a busy week rushing around, and maybe this is the first time you've got to spend on yourself and with yourself so far this week. So really savoring that. So slowly, let's come back into our full body extension, taking both legs out in front of you, reaching the arms back as you take that stretch. And this time, let's just start to circle the wrists and the ankles there. You can lift the arms a little ways off the floor there as you do some circles, getting the fingers moving, maybe the toes having a little wiggle as you move one way. And then taking the joints around in the opposite direction, winter-proofing the joints, they call this, as it starts to get a little bit colder and damper. Really important to keep the joints nice and fluid. And then reaching back into that full body stretch, take a nice deep breath in. And as you breathe out, hug your right knee in and up towards your chest. You can hold it in front or behind the knee. And if you can, keep that left leg stretched out in front of you, kicking the heel away from you as you just relax your shoulders. Relax your face as you hug that knee up and in. Nice release for the muscles of the lower back. And then you can use one hand or both hands to start to circle that right knee. It might be big movements or small movements, but just try not to rock the body from side to side. So you're really isolating that movement in the right hip. Go round once more in that direction. And then we'll change direction, trying to relax your lower leg so your heel is just dropping to your bottom. Lovely. Then bringing that knee in towards your chest. We're going to hold behind the knee. Just draw that knee down towards the outside edge of the body. So down towards your right armpit a little bit, just opening up in the hip. You can have your left hand on that left hip for a little bit of stability there. And then as you inhale, we're going to take that right leg out to the side on the diagonal, straightening the leg as you inhale. And then exhale, re-bending the knee. So inhale to extend and stretch out on the diagonal. And then coming all the way back in. You can keep holding behind the knee. Some of you might be able to hold on to your foot, perhaps, as you take the leg out. And then coming back in. We'll do that one more time. So either holding behind the knee or holding the foot, whatever feels good. We stretch. Come all the way back in. And bring that knee back in towards your chest. And this time we'll bring the left hand onto your right knee. Preparing for a little twist, we drag that right knee across the body. Just letting that right arm just drop down by the side of you as you just explore that first little rotation through the spine. That's it, coming all the way back. Releasing that leg, stretching out the arms, coming back into that full body stretch. Take a nice breath in. And this time as you breathe out, we'll hug the left knee up and in towards your chest. And again, if it's comfortable to keep that right leg extended, stretch out through the heel. Try not to draw the shoulders up towards your ears as you bring that knee up and in. Just releasing the muscles around the low back. And then again, we'll start those little circles. You can, again, bring the other hand onto the top of the hip for a little bit of feedback as you circle that left knee. Just the left knee moving in one direction. And then taking it round the opposite way. Getting into the hip there. And then hugging the knee in towards your chest, holding behind the knee. And we'll bring that left knee again just out towards the left. So it's almost like you're angling it out to the side a little bit. Ready for those little extensions. So as you inhale, you stretch that leg away from you on the diagonal. And then you bend the knee. So stretching away as you inhale. And bending as you exhale. Option to hold the foot if that feels okay. Remember, it's early on those hamstrings, so you might prefer to keep the hand behind the knee as you stretch it away. And then coming all the way back in, hugging that knee in towards your chest, and this time right hand on the left knee, dragging that knee across the body as you come into your little twist. Just letting the other arm just fall down by the side of you there. And then rolling onto your back, keep that left knee where it is. Bring the other knee up to join it, giving those knees a nice hug in towards your chest, maybe a little rock or a circle there. And bringing those knees in towards your chest. Option to bring your nose towards your knees, coming into that little ball, softening the shoulders away from the ears, upper back rounding. And then lower the head, lower the shoulders, maybe just roll the head from one side to the other just to release the neck. And then your way to find yourself up to seated, you can roll up the spine or you can just roll to one side. I'm going to sit with the right leg in front of left leg, but you can stretch the legs out in front of you. Sitting cross-legged doesn't work for you today. Hands on the knees. Just going to start to draw some circles with the body now. And so really not kind of overthinking this, just letting the movement be really fluid, just allowing the upper body to draw some big or some small circles there. Maybe the shoulders start to get a little bit involved. So we're really just loosening up again the upper body into the shoulders, around the upper back as you do one more in one direction. And then we'll go around the opposite way. So just circling around the, almost like the base of the pelvis there as you take those circles. Lovely. And then coming all the way back to stillness with your shoulders over your hips. We'll bring the hands back onto the knees and think about that cat-cow movement that we do when we arch and round the back. But think about just your upper back moving now. So as you inhale, we're just going to bring the chest forwards, a little lift of your chin and a squeeze of your shoulder blades together. And exhale, really try and round your upper back as you drop your chin. That's a smaller movement there. Inhale, just the upper back. The rest of the spine is going to move a little. Let's see if we can just get some movement into those uppermost regions of our back. One more like that. Inhale. Chest comes forwards and then exhale. And let's just see if you can start to make that movement maybe a little bit bigger. So you can rock forwards as you arch the back. And then holding onto the knees, we round, hugging belly button to spine. Just do a couple more like that. Just, again, loosening things up through the back. Lovely. Let's come all the way back to that central point. Shoulders on top of hips. And we'll bring the fingertips down by the side of you. Right arm lift up. As you take it over the top, take the gaze down to the floor. Lovely. Inhale through center. And again, looking down as you take left arm over the top. And this time we'll look underneath the armpit as that right arm travels over the top of the head. And again, tucking the chin in as you take that arm over the top of the head. Lovely. Reaching both arms up towards the sky. Take an inhale. And as you exhale, just swim the hands behind you. And just lean into your hands. Lift the chest and maybe pick up the hips. Keeping the gaze up rather than back. And then we'll lower the hips. And reach the arms in front of you. And come into that forward fold. Keeping the bottom on the floor. So we'll oscillate between the two as you inhale, hands behind, maybe lifting the hips up. And then as you exhale, folding the body forwards, over the legs. Lovely. Inhale, hands behind. Option to push the knees into the floor. And exhale to bring the arms in front. Lovely. One more time. Inhale, hands behind. Option to keep your hips down if that's uncomfortable to lift them. This next time as you come into your forward fold, we're going to hold there. So bringing the arms both out in front of you as far as feels comfortable. Maybe taking the hips back and away from you as you reach out through the arms. You've got the option to take both arms over to the left side of your mat, hugging that right hip back towards your heel. Maybe placing your right hand on top of your left hand as you breathe into the right side of the body there. And then we'll swap sides, walking through center, and we'll take both hands over to the right. This time, left hand is on top of right hand, dropping the shoulder, drawing back into that hip. Lovely, coming all the way back through the middle. Lifting yourself up and maybe just uncrossing the legs the opposite way. So this time we've got the left foot in front of the right foot. Lovely. Fingertips down by the side of you. We'll take the left arm up, take an inhale. Gazes down as we come over the top. Inhale through center. And again, gazing down towards the floor. This next time, option to tuck the chin in and look up towards the ceiling as you stretch. And other side. Just noticing if you can feel any difference there. And then both arms lifting up. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, swim the hands behind you. Leaning into your hands. Inhale, we lift the hips or just puff the chest up. And as you exhale, swim the arms in front and come into that forward fold. So hands come behind as you inhale. You can keep the hips on the floor and just arch your back. And exhale, bringing those hands away from you in front. Lovely. Let's do that one more time. So inhale to lift the hips. And this next time we'll hold in that forward fold. So again, I'm just going to walk my hips back. As I stretch the arms out in front of me, really keep drawing back through your hips there. And then we'll take both arms over to the right side of your mat. Option left hand on top of right hand. Pulling back gently through that left hip. And then back through the middle, over to the other side. This time right hand on top of left hand, drawing back into that right hip bone. That's it. And then walking the hands back towards you. You can roll over your knees and your ankles as you find your way to all fours, or you can just find your way there nice and comfortably. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips, and invariably we kind of drop our gaze back towards our knees there. So just bring your gaze forwards over your fingertips so the back of the neck is in line with the spine as you push the floor away to ensure, again, that we're not collapsing into the shoulders there. Coming into our cat and our cow. So as you inhale, keep pressing into your hands as once more we arch the back. And exhale like an angry cat, we round the spine. Maybe close your eyes here so you can feel what's going on in the back body and the front body as you oscillate between those two moves. If your shoulders feel tight today, go ahead and take your hands a little bit wider apart there. Give yourself some more space to move into. Rounding the back as you push down into your hands. That's when we can drop the gaze and then we bring the gaze forwards. Lovely. So adding on this next time as you inhale, we'll bring the chest forwards. This time as you exhale, round the back and sit back towards your heels, coming into a child pose. Forwards and up as you inhale. And exhale, rounding back into that child pose. Lovely. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Lovely. And this time we'll come back up onto all fours and bring your right hand onto your right shoulder. So the elbow is going to lead the movement. So as we inhale, elbow comes forwards and up. Exhale, elbow back and down, and we sit back towards your heels. So drawing a circle with the elbow as you inhale. And exhale, coming all the way back. One more, just the elbow moving. Inhale to open. And exhale, option to keep the hand on the shoulder or release the arm. The whole arm moves forwards and up. And then all the way back and down. Lovely. Twice more, either with the hand on the shoulder, turning the palm away from you as you come back if you're extending that whole arm. Lovely. One more time. Scooping the arm back. This time we'll come back up and take that right arm up towards the sky, turning the chest as you inhale. Exhale, we're going to feed that right arm underneath the left arm as we thread the needle. Inhale to open, reaching up towards the ceiling. And exhale to feed the arm underneath. Lovely. One more time. Inhale. And this next time we'll slide the arm underneath you and move your bottom back towards your heels and see if you can keep your hips square. So you're sliding that left arm in front of you. So it's almost like a child pose, but we've thread the needle. So see if you can bring your weight evenly across your sit bones there. Sliding that right arm a little further away from you if you can to stretch into the back of the shoulder. Lovely. And then we'll come forwards and up, releasing that right arm to the sky one last time. And then bringing both hands underneath you. Let's swap sides. So left hand on left shoulder. We'll circle the elbow forwards and up. As you come into that child pose, we come back and down. So inhale, circle the elbow. And exhale to come down. Lovely. One more, just the elbow moving. Maybe you want to stick with that with just the elbow or releasing the arm, whole arm circles, turning the palm away from you as you reach to the back of your mat. So inhale, forwards and up. And exhaling back and down. Lovely. One more, either with the hand on the shoulder or the whole arm moving. This time we'll take that arm up towards the sky, ready for our thread needle. We'll take an inhale and exhale, feed the arm underneath. Lovely. Inhale as you turn the chest. And exhale to feed the arm through. One side might be a little stiffer than the other. Inhale. So we're going to hold. So we'll the arm underneath, back of the hand sliding away on the floor. Just move your hips back towards your heels. You don't have to drag that left arm with you a little bit. Stretching the right arm in front of you, trying to square your hips up. So again, we're not twisting or dipping in the hips. Stretching that right arm in front of you. Lovely. Then we'll press all the way back up, releasing that arm up towards the ceiling as you inhale and exhale, bringing the hands down underneath you. And this time we'll tuck the toes under, lifting the chest as you inhale and exhale. Let's find our first downward dog. Start to pedal out your feet, really thinking about your back as well here. So you're really lengthening up through the spine, sending those hips up and back, finding a comfortable place for your head, maybe gazing towards your thumbs or straight down the middle of your mat, or taking your gaze back to your heels, whatever feels most comfortable for our necks. Just bring some movements, a little pedaling out through the feet there. Bending into one knee and then the other. And finding a moment of stillness in your downward dog, maybe popping a bend in the knees so you can send those hips up and back. Stretching, stretching. And then looking forwards as you inhale, we'll ripple forwards to plank. And as you exhale, bring your knees down, your chest down. Imagine your upper body is now a fork, the prongs of a fork. So you've got your elbows bent, level with your shoulders, and your forearms flat to the floor. You're going to lean into that left arm and lift the right arm up off the floor, keeping the hips square. So nothing else moves, just the upper body. And then we come back down. We lean into the other side as you inhale, lifting the left arm, nothing changes. Angle stays the same and lower once more each way. So with a bent elbow, we lift. Again, lovely release for the upper body. Hips stay pressing down firmly into the floor. Come all the way back down. And this time stretch both arms out level with your shoulders. Leaning into that right arm, we're going to lift the left arm up, just lifting from the shoulder. And then come all the way down. Other side, so the arm is straight. Almost like a little aeroplane banking from side to side. Let's do one more each way. Try to keep those hips from moving too much from side to side. And coming all the way down. Now a deep stretch for the shoulder. Bringing your left hand just by your left shoulder, so the elbow is bent and pointing to the ceiling. Bending your left knee, toes up to the sky. You're going to roll onto your right side. And try and tap your left toes down just behind your right leg, or you can extend both legs out behind you, one on top of the other. Just walking that right arm a little further out from underneath you as you stretch into the shoulder, front of the shoulder, the chest. Left hand just by your face there and the elbow bent. Slowly rolling back onto your tummy. Releasing that left arm, just check it's level with your shoulder. Right hand comes by the shoulder, elbow bent. Bending that right knee. You roll to your left side, either tapping the toes down or extending both legs. Again, just see if you can walk that left arm out from underneath you. That right hand is by your face, just pushing down into the floor. Lovely. And slowly we roll back onto our tummies. Both hands underneath your shoulders this time. And as you inhale, come into a little cobra. Keeping the neck nice and long as you inhale. And exhale, rippling down. Back onto all fours. Inhale. Exhale. Finding a moment in that child pose. Maybe tucking the toes under for a half dog. And then coming all the way back onto all fours, hands under shoulders, knees under hips. And whenever I see physio recommending exercises to strengthen and lengthen the back, this one is always mentioned. It's called a bird dog. It's going to slide your right leg back behind you, toes on the floor, and extend your left arm in front of you. Blade of the little finger on the floor and thumb up towards the sky. So inhale to lift arm and leg. Exhale to squeeze underneath you. Inhale to extend. Exhale to tap down. So inhale, we lift. Exhale to squeeze and contract, elbow to knee. Extend as you inhale. And exhale, tap down. One more time, inhale. Exhale underneath. Reaching out long and tapping down. Let's lift arm and leg and hold now. Shoulder and hip height, reaching in opposite directions. And then bending the knee, turning that left palm away from you and reach to the back of your mat. Some of you might be able to just stay there. Some of you might be able to take hold of the front of the foot and then pushing your foot into your hand into your foot, a little back bend as you take your gaze forwards, lifting the chest, opening through the shoulder, and then slowly release, giving that right hand a little shake, and then we'll swap sides. So left foot slides back, try not to roll the hips to the side, right arm extends. It's like you're shaking hands with someone. The thumb is up to the sky. So inhale, we lift. And exhale, we squeeze underneath. Extending out long as you inhale and tapping back down. Inhale to lift. Exhale to squeeze underneath. Extending out long. And then tapping down. Let's do one more like that. See if you can lift that front arm a little higher. Then we'll lift and hold shoulder and hip height. Bending the knees, you turn the palm away from you, reach to the back of your mat, and some of you might be able to catch your foot. Otherwise, you're just reaching to the back of the mat. If you can reach your foot, you're lifting the foot, lifting the gaze into that little back bend. And then slowly release. Give that left hand a little shake, shake. And then tuck the toes under, take an inhale as you arch your back. And exhaling, downward dog. This time from your downward dog, walking your feet towards your hands, coming to the top of your mat. Bending your knees, you can cradle your elbows, just sway the body gently from side to side, seeing how that feels. You can always brace your hands on your knees if you don't want to be in a forward fold today. Otherwise, just letting the body fold down over the legs. And bending both knees generously so you can bring your fingertips to the floor in front of your feet, or just bring your hands up onto your knees. Just going to push your right hip back behind you as you straighten that right leg, and right arm reaches up towards the sky, stretching the outer thigh, and bending the knees will come back to center. Other side, inhale, push the hips straight back behind you, and then exhale to bend. One more each way. So imagine you're pushing that hip straight back behind you. Trying not to jut it out to the side as we do. One more with the left side. And release. Keeping a deep knee bend now. Roll your way up to stand. Take your time. We've been on the floor for a while. So coming all the way up. Give those shoulders a little roll. Lovely. Let me just adjust the camera so you can see me a little better there. Lovely. Standing towards the top of the mat, making sure you've got some space behind you. Let's take an inhale and reach both arms up. And exhale with as deep a knee bend as you need. We come down over the legs. Lifting up halfway, lengthening out through the neck as you breathe in. And then folding back down. Let's rise on up. These half sun salutes, I think we need them today on this rainy Wednesday. Hands to heart, lovely. And again, reaching up tall, lengthen the spine. And exhale to fold. Again, that lovely flat back. You can slide your hands up your legs or keep fingertips on the floor before you fold back in. Let's rise on up, pressing down through the feet. And hands to heart, lovely. Adding on, inhale to reach up. Exhale as you fold. Inhale as you lift up. This time as we exhale, we're going to slide or step your right leg back and lower the knee. I'm going to flatten my toes. Right, rising up with those arms. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, reach the right arm down by the side of you, but keep those hips square to the front so we're not bumping the hips to the side. Inhale to reach up. And then other side. So again, we're really trying to lengthen through the side of the body without moving the hips. One more each way. Requires a little bit more concentration. Lovely. One more time, reaching up. And left fingertips reaching down to the side of you. And then taking both arms up to the sky, interlacing the hands behind you as you swim the arms behind the low back. Let's draw the knuckles down. You can lift the chest, maybe stay here, or begin to fold the body to the inside of that front thigh, and maybe the arms lift up and over as you come into a version of humble warrior. Beautiful. Let those arms pull you all the way back up. Releasing the arms up to the sky. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, bring the hands down, pick up the back knee, and we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Rolling forwards to plank as you inhale. As you exhale, let's bring the knees down, the chest down. And this time keeping the hands just by the shoulders, squeezing those elbows in towards you as you lift your hands and hover them off the floor. Keep the tops of the feet on the floor now. And as you inhale, lift your chest, keep looking down. And then as you exhale, release. One more like that. So a hand hovering cobra. Really good to strengthen the muscles of the back as you lift and lower. This time keeping the hands on the floor, pushing up into your little baby cobra, but don't overdo it as we inhale. And exhale to stretch the chest forwards and down, coming back onto all fours and finding your downward facing. From your downward dog, walking your feet towards your hands, once more coming to the top of your mat. Bending the knees, sweeping the arms all the way out and up. Let's take an inhale. And hands to heart. Lovely. Let's try that on the other side. So inhale, we rise. And then folding down, exhale. Lifting up halfway, breath in. This time left foot. Let's slide or step it back. Lowering the knee and flattening the toes. Reaching those arms up, breath in. And this time left arm reaches down again, trying to keep those hips square to the front. Reaching up, inhale. And other side. You can look down or look forwards, whatever works best for your balance here as we do that one more time each way. So getting that nice stretch through the uppermost regions of the spine as we take that lovely side bend. Then inhale to reach up. And exhale, swim the hands behind you. And this time, if you can, bring the other little finger on top. So we've interlaced in the other way. You can stay there with your chest high, and we take that hinge forwards, just melting the body down to the inside of that thigh. Arms might lift up and over. Keep pushing the floor away with that front foot. And then let those arms pull you all the way back up. Lovely, sweeping the arms, inhale. And exhale, we'll meet in a downward facing dog. Lovely, rolling forwards to plank as you inhale, option knees lifted or lowered, yogi's choice will come down, hands alongside the shoulders, flatten your toes, hover those hands as you press into the tops of the feet and inhale, chin is tucked in as you lift and exhale to lower. Lovely, one more like that, squeezing those elbows back behind you. Hands on the floor as you find your cobra again without jamming the shoulders up towards your ears. And exhale, release. Lovely, coming all the way back to your downward facing dog. And again, from your downward dog, walking your feet towards your hands at the top of the mat. Bending the knees as you rise on up. And hands to hearts. Lovely. Let me just come to the other end of my mat so I can mirror you. So we're going to add on with that. And if balance feels at all compromised today, knowing that you can keep your back knee on the floor. Otherwise, we'll be finding a high lunge eventually. So let's take those arms up as you inhale. Starts the same. And exhale to fold. Lifting up halfway. Right leg, slide or step it back. You're going to lower the knee. And again, flatten the toes. Reaching the arms out. This time as you exhale, bring the hands to the heart and really press those palms together so the elbows are sent out left to right. Take a big breath in as you lift your chest. And twist to the left, so you're twisting towards that bent knee. Then the right hand comes to the outside of the thigh. And you take the other hand behind you, that left hand resting on the low back. And see if you can use those hands to help you twist a little more towards that bent knee. Try not to let that front knee roll in, so keep pushing it into your hand. Lovely. Let's come all the way back through center, unraveling, sweeping those arms up as you breathe in. As you breathe out, bring the hands down. We're going to tuck the back toes under, lifting the knee. Just make sure the feet are hip width apart as you join me in a high lunge, or you can keep that back knee on the floor. The choice is yours. If you're in that high lunge, take a moment to find your balance. reaching up through the arms, take an inhale. Going to twist, so we'll bring your right arm in front, left arm behind. Again, we're twisting towards the bent knee. Sweeping both arms up through the middle, inhale. Same direction, right arm in front, left arm behind. One more time like that, reaching up, keeping your balance as you move slowly. And exhale to stretch, lovely. Both arms lifting, take an inhale. And as you exhale, drop the back heel in and we'll open up into a warrior two. So maybe walk that front foot to the middle of your mat there as you reach the arms out left to right. And then coming into eagle arms, left arm on top of right arm. So maybe just bringing your hands onto your shoulders, or you can come into that double wrap, whatever works for your shoulders. And as you inhale, we're going to lift those elbows and exhale, rounding the back as you bring those elbows down. Inhale, sliding the elbows forwards and up, keep the shoulders away from your ears. And then exhale, let's come all the way down. Lovely. One more time. Up with the elbows and then keeping your balance as you round the back. Lovely. Let's release those arms back into your warrior two. Let's take an inhale. And as you exhale, left arm comes all the way up and over as we reverse our warrior. Coming back into your warrior two. And straightening both legs, turning all 10 toes forwards. We'll reach the arms up. Swimming the hands behind you and again interlacing them. Keeping the hands low to your bottom as you hinge forwards into that forward fold. So keep the hands resting on your bottom. And maybe you want to keep the hands there, or again, you can lift the arms away from the body, getting that stretch in the shoulders, only if that works for you. Lovely, releasing those arms and bringing the hands down to the floor underneath you. Keeping the weight back in the heels, walk the hands forwards a little bit so you've lengthened your chest. You can come onto your flat palms or your fingertips. And as you inhale, then arch the back, send your hips back behind you as you bring the chest forwards. And then exhale, rounding the spine like an angry cat. So again, as you inhale, you can rock the weight to the balls of the feet as you arch your back. And then exhale, send the weight back to your heels as you round the spine. Lovely. One more like that. So a little rock forwards on your feet as you inhale. This time as you exhale, let's find a forward fold. So maybe you keep the hands in front of you, or you can take the hands to the outside of the legs, or even turn the fingertips away from you and feed the hands back between the legs, coming in a little tighter into that forward fold. Lovely. And let's bring both hands back underneath the shoulders, lifting the chest and looking towards your left foot. You're going to turn over that left foot, pivoting on the feet so all 10 toes are pointing in the same direction. Taking that left leg up to the sky into a three-legged dog. And as you inhale, rolling forwards to plank, lowering that foot. And as you exhale, coming down onto your tummy. Finding your cobra, or maybe this time it's an upward dog. Palms of hand, tops of feet. We meet in a downward facing dog. And from your downward dog, bending your knees, looking towards your hands. And as you inhale, walk, step, or maybe a little hop to the top of your mat before you fold over your legs. Let's rise on up. Big breath in. And hands coming to hearts. Let me come to the other side of the mat so I can mirror you on the other side. Let's try that on the other side. Balance felt wibbly wobbly in that high lunge, knowing you can do all of it with your back knee on the floor. Let's rise on up, breath in. Ready with that left leg as you fold. Lifting up halfway. So this time it's left foot. We're going to slide all the way back. We start with the knee on the floor. Lovely. Sweeping those arms up so we come into that low lunge. Hands to heart. And really press your palms together. So send those elbows out left to right. Take a breath in as you lift your chest. And this time we're twisting towards the right knee. So you're twisting to the right. And then that left hand comes to the outside of the leg. And we take the right hand behind your back. So you're using the hands to help you turn the body towards that bent knee. Towards the right. Lovely. Coming all the way back through the center. Let's release those arms up. Breath in. And breathing out, hands come down. If you're joining me in a high lunge, we pick up the back knee and maybe walk your right foot towards your right hand. So we're at least hip width apart with the feet, and then find your balance as you rise on up. Beautiful. Ready for that twist? Let's take an inhale. And exhale, we've got the left arm in front, right arm behind. So you're turning towards that bent knee again. Same direction as before. Inhale, reach up. Left arm in front, right arm reaches back behind you. Gorgeous. One more time. Inhale. Woohoo, feel wibbly wobbly this side. Lovely. Both arms lifting up. And opening up into your warrior two. Take a moment to adjust your feet. So maybe walk that right foot to the middle of your mat as you stretch those arms out left to right. Beautiful. This time, right arm on top of left arm. Maybe hands on the shoulders, or again, that little double wrap. So as you inhale, we lift the elbows. And exhale, we round the spine. Lovely. Inhale, sliding those elbows forwards and up. And exhale to hug them in towards your belly button. Lovely. One more time. Inhale to lift. And exhale, we lower. Reaching the arms out back into your warrior two. Breath in. And reversing your warrior as you breathe out. Lovely. Coming back into your warrior. Turning all 10 toes forwards. Reaching the arms up. This time as you swim the hands behind you, maybe change the other little finger on top. So it should be the interlace that feels a little strange. Keep the hands low to your bottom as you take that initial fold down over the legs. Maybe the hands stay there, or you can lift the arms up and away from your back. Nice. And then releasing the hands first to your back. Then bringing the hands down underneath you, walking them forward. So again, we've got that nice long spine. Ready for those cat-cow. So as you inhale, weighten the ball of the foot as you inhale, lift the chest, and then rock back towards your heels as you round the spine like an angry cat. So have a little playful rock across your feet. We're not lifting the heels as you come forward. You're just shifting the weight back and forth. So one more time to come into your little arched back. And this next time we'll find your folds. Try something different maybe. Try the hands on the either side of your ankles or your shins, or again, you can feed the hands back behind you, whatever feels good. Lovely. And then once more, we'll walk the hands back underneath the shoulders, lifting the chest. So this time we're looking towards that right foot. You're going to bring both hands to frame that foot as you turn to face it, pivoting the feet, taking that right leg up towards the sky into your three-legged dog. And then inhale as you roll forwards to plank, lowering the foot. Last little flow, exhale to lower. Reaching up into your back bend, maybe it's not for dog. And we'll make the downward facing dog. And from there, bending your knees, last bit of energy as you inhale, walk, step, or maybe again that little hop to the top before you fold. Let's rise on up, reaching the arms up. And bringing the hands down to the heart. Lovely. Just pausing there for a moment. Oh, letting the breath settle. Seeing how we feel, having moved the body, moved the spine through all of its wonderful range of movements. The last little balance challenge. Let's bring the hands just onto the hips. And just pick up your right heel. And maybe that's where you stay today. Or see if you can bring that right knee up and hug it in towards your chest. So long back, so knee coming to chest rather than chest coming to knee. And then keeping that left hand on the knee, you're going to take your right arm all the way forwards and up and reaching back behind you. And if you're feeling brave, maybe you take your gaze over that back arm, keep the spine lengthening up. Lovely, bringing both hands back onto your knee. And now see if you can round the spine, bringing your nose towards your knee towards your nose. It's harder than it sounds to find that balance. Pausing and that rounding. And then slowly release. Beautiful. I find that really hard to balance as I round the back. So give the feet a little shake. We'll try that on the other side. So either just lifting left heel or go ahead and lift the knee. If you've got to reach down to bring the knee up, then make sure that you lift up through the chest. So again, we're bringing knee to chest. Nice long spine. Right hand on the knee this time as you circle that left arm. Maybe looking back over your fingertips. Lovely, coming back through the center. And then again, hugging that knee up. And again, nose to knee, round the spine. Curl that little. And then release both feet underneath you. Lovely. Bend the knees, sweep the arms out and up. Let's take an inhale. And last time to fold, exhale. Lifting up halfway. Stepping back into your downward dog. Then from your downward dog, lowering down onto all fours, flattening your toes. As you find a child pose, going to feed the arms back alongside the body. Fingertips lengthening back beyond your toes, just allowing the shoulders to roll inwards. Just to release them. So feeling the upper back broaden, spread there. And then we'll keep the hands where they are, but just start to peel your chest up away from the thighs. Roll over your fingertips so your palms are flat and arch the back. And maybe again, you can lift your hips from your heels. Lower the hips, roll over the fingertips, come back into that child pose, palms facing up towards the sky. So as we inhale, we roll over the hands and lift the hips up. And exhale to come down into that child pose. Lovely, twice more. You can always keep your bottom on your heels and just lift your chest before coming back down into that child pose. Lovely, one more time. Either with that little hip lift, pushing them forwards and up. And then this time we'll meet in child pose, but reach both arms out in front of you. Maybe coming up onto the tips of your fingers and thumbs to give the wrists a little stretch as you sit back towards your heels. Slowly, slowly, coming up to sit on your bottom and then dropping the hips to one side and swishing the legs out in front of you. Giving them a little shake, shake. Lovely. And we'll bring that right knee up and in towards the chest. Foot stays on the inside of that left leg. So it's going to be the left hand or the left elbow that hugs that knee in place. And draw a big circle with that right arm, bringing the fingertips behind you. Making sure you're not leaning into that back arm. So if you can't quite reach the floor, just bring your hand onto your lower back instead. Think about that hand propping you forwards and up through the spine. Slowly coming back through the center, extending both legs in front of you, sweeping those arms up as you inhale and folding over the legs. So you might need to bend your knees and wrap your hands underneath your legs today, or find that fold, allowing the spine to lengthen over both legs. You might even wrap your hands over your toes if you can find them there. And then we'll slide our way back up. Bring that left knee up and in. Foot flat to the floor. We'll keep it on the inside this morning. Right hand or elbow brings the knee in. And this time it's a circle with your left fingertips. Opening up through the chest, you can bring the hand down behind you and turn towards that knee. Lifting up nice and tall. Stretching out through that right foot. Slowly release. And just bringing yourself to the top of your mat. Now bend the knees and bring the feet flat to the floor. Now, some ankles won't like this one, so if you can't keep your feet flat, then by all means lift your toes. But see if you can keep your feet flat to the floor as you reach the arms out. And keeping the soles of the feet on the floor, can you roll your way down through the spine? Really good for our core. Roll your way down smoothly, smoothly through each vertebrae, one by one. And then when you get there, finding that full body stretch, arms and legs reaching out. And again, maybe that little pandiculation, that little intuitive movement, stretching into one side and then the other, little wiggle. And then once again, we'll hug your right knee up and in towards your chest. Just noticing maybe if that feels any different to when we did that at the beginning of class. And then opening that right knee out towards the right. And maybe you just stay there holding in front or behind the knee, or you might reach up for your foot. Come into that half straddle, taking the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, a half happy baby. If you can't quite reach your foot, you can hold both hands underneath your thigh, or you can hold on to the back of the leg there, back of the calf. If you're holding your foot, you're drawing that knee down towards the outside edge of the body. And then slowly, slowly release. Give that knee one last hug in towards the chest. And then we'll swap sides. So as you extend the right leg, we hug that left knee up and in. Just pausing for a moment to feel that nice release through the low back. And then we open the left knee out to the side. Again, you can hold in front or behind the knee. The choice is yours. And maybe you stay there, or maybe again, you find your version of half happy baby holding around the sole of the foot. Or you can hold around the calf or around the back of the thigh there, drawing that knee down. And then slowly release, hugging that knee in towards the chest and bringing the other knee up and in to join it with one hand on both knees. And separate the knees, keep the big toes pointing together, and then slide the hands down towards the top of your shins, your ankles, and press your heels towards your bottom, keeping those knees wide. As you press your heels towards your bottom, just drop some weight into the back of your pelvis there. So we're trying to almost spread the low back down into the floor, lengthening through the tailbone. Slowly, slowly, hands to the outside of the knees. Bring those knees together. And last time, maybe nose towards knees, coming into that little ball. Just notice maybe if you can bring your nose towards your knees a little closer than we did at the beginning. Lower the head, lower the shoulders, and allow the feet to come to the floor, maybe keeping the knees bent, widening your feet so your inner knees can rest against each other, or stretching the legs out. I'm just going to come up to seated so I can talk to you. So finding a nice comfortable place just for a few moments. And again, as you find your position either with the knees bent to support the low back or with the legs extended, just bring your awareness again to the very middle of the back of your head, resting on the floor. That little space between the back of the neck and the mat beneath you. And finding that broadness of the upper back as you relax both shoulder blades, the left and the right, evenly down into the floor beneath you. And as you travel down your spine, maybe there's a little arching around the lower back, a little space. And then that broadness across the back of your pelvis. Again, releasing evenly into the left and the right side of the body. Back of the legs, back of the thighs, the calves, and the heels. Just let the weight drop into the back of the legs if you've got your legs extended. Again, just sensing, feeling that heaviness, that release of the back body into the support of the floor beneath you. As the back body releases, so the front body can open, more space for our breath. So enjoying that creation of space now just by taking a few nice deep breaths. Breathing in through the nose, maybe parting the lips and sighing the breath out if that feels like a real release for you today, or breathing in and out through the nose. So travel through the rest of the day, the rest of the week, maybe with a greater awareness of your back body. It's noticing when you're beginning to slouch or slump over a desk or over a computer, and just taking a moment maybe to step away, to stretch, draw the shoulders down the back, and gently open up through the front body to counter all of the work that many of us do that requires sitting at a desk or hunched over a phone or a computer. So as you gently open up back into that full body stretch, reaching the arms back, extending the legs, maybe again that little moment to move intuitively, getting into any little last remaining areas of tightness before you go ahead, hugging both knees in towards your chest. Rolling or turning to lie on one side, whatever side feels comfortable. And then coming to seated when you're ready. And just bring the fingertips down by the side of you. Think about gently pressing them down so you can lift your crown of the head, lengthen up through the spine without bursting the chest forwards. So there's a softening through the front body, a kind of dropping of your ribs as you use those muscles of the back body to lengthen up. And from that lovely length through the spine, let's increase that as you reach the arms up one last time. Take an inhale. Hands to heart, chin to chest, reminding ourselves the words of a very wise yoga teacher, Wanda Scaravelli, who said, "You're only as young as your spine is flexible." Very true. So namaste. Thank you, team. Thank you. Hope you enjoyed that little back stretch today.
Yes, thank you, Helen.